Welcome viewers to another edition of Brave Namibia, where we celebrate both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. In today's episode, we head to Rundu, where Kayec and Victoria caught up with Anton Kamerika, a youth development program officer for Kayec in that town. He narrates his journey of humble beginnings and how he ended up loving his career of working with children in need.
Kamerika, tell us, who are you and what do you do?
Yes, as you called me by my surname, that's my surname. My name is Anton. I'm raised and come from Ocho, which is in Kunene region. Here I've come here because of work, which I applied for in 2011 through Kayec. So I'm here as a youth development program coordinator for the past 12 years.
Tell us, why Kayec? Why this profession?
The profession of youth development, working very closely with the youth, is one of my best favorite professions that I fell in love with over the past 16 years in total, because before Kayec, I worked for another organization called Brave Namibia, which was in the region, which this journey has taken me quite very far and made me to fall in love with helping and supporting the youth in different backgrounds, cultures, and so on. So it taught me, it's an experiential learning journey where I've learned from the communities and the youth that I've been working with closely, from both Chodanjupa region, Kunene region, as well as Kavango East and West region. So seeing the demand of the crisis, not the demand, but seeing the challenges that the youth are facing in the regions, makes me more eager to help and assist and see ways in how I can be able to change their lives through the work that we are doing with Kayec, being supported by FNB. So every day the challenges become more and more in the region. That keeps me awake, that I need to look at ways on how we can be able to support and assist the youth in the region. And also try to see on how can we keep these kids off the streets, because if we don't come to the office or if we don't come to the center, these kids become more vulnerable in the streets by joining gang groups and falling into peer pressure, starting to drink alcohol and taking drugs and so on.
Tell me, what is the proudest moment, like in terms of youth developing? You see these kids, they come here, no clue about what life is, you shape their life. What is some of the best memories you have in this 16-year journey of yours?
You know, one thing, when let me say, by our targets with FNB is that we reach about 75 to 100 youth in the region, and we've exceeded that demand. Actually, we've so far reached close to 200 youth that are registered in the program. That shows you that the demand is really high and the kids are out there wanting to join the program. One thing, when we talk about issues relating crisis that actually these youth are going through, and you talk about it during Life Skills Boys and Girls Club, you question yourself and think, are they even listening to what I'm saying? Are they catching out something? Will they change? And that surprises me, because when you meet some kids, older ones that have left the program, or so, when you find them at their workplace and so, they say, Mr. Anton, it's me, you don't remember me, but I've learned a lot from Kayec. They have their own testimonies that they give you, and you find it shocking for me that, I thought this was one of those students that wasn't listening, but now they did actually really did listen during the program. A lot of them have went very far in the program. Those that we have taught have went far. Those, most of them have went to universities. From universities, a lot of them are working. We are talking about, I know in our program we've been doing leadership trainings, and I need to say that the current Honorable Emma Trefeles was one of our participants who was in the program that benefited from the leadership trainings for over 3 years of trainings that we've been grooming them. And not only her, but also a lot of other students that are having very good positions in the companies or ministries where they are working also. So that makes us quite proud. And those that have completed the program in us, or those that have completed grade 12 or university, they come back. They come back and say, we want to give back to the program. We've learned a lot, and it's about time that we also give back to those that are in need of our support or help.
On a personal level, how has Kayec transformed your own life?
It has transformed me because coming from a very disadvantaged background, from a family where my mom was not working or doesn't still also work, raised by her alone with the assistance of my sisters, I did not have that opportunity like any other student or child to go and study at university immediately after graduating my grade 12. So it was a hustle on my own to find my way to where I am, from especially when I joined Kayec, where I've been sent to attend a lot of small trainings, workshops. Through those workshops and trainings is where I've built my career to be where I am today, and at the same time, currently, even as we are speaking, it taught me that, a lot of people when they go to universities, they just pick a career without knowing what they're going to become. I opt to choose to become or to go study social work, not social work, but psychology, which I'm currently pursuing and I'm in my second year of doing psychology. I chose it because of my career that I've been in currently, being a youth officer, and I chose that I think it's about time I do something related to the work that I'm doing, which was social work. I did some other courses on counseling, HIV and AIDS counseling and so on. So this is just a complementary qualification that I'm studying towards.
What are the challenges that you are experiencing in terms knowing that these kids, these children that you are assisting on a daily basis come from different backgrounds? What are some of the challenges that you are faced with, and how do you handle them?
The one of the biggest challenge on a day-to-day is, there's a lot of children that come at the center here, and you look at the manpower that needs to assist these kids, it's very low. We on a daily basis, we get about 100 to 120 kids that come at the center. It becomes a challenge that if we only have about 3 to 4 volunteers to assist these kids, then we are not producing good results at the end of the day when we have 40 kids being attended to one person. Ideally, we prefer at least 15 by one volunteer or so on. The one issue is when the children come at the center here is that we have a challenge of feeding the children, because a lot of them come here and did not have anything to eat at home, especially when they come straight from school. So when they come here, you would hear small complaints from them and say, I'm hungry, I did not eat today. It's very worrisome as to whether do you continue teaching them, what do you do, because at the end of the day, even if you teach them, they are not going to grasp a lot out of what you were teaching them. So from the budget we have very little to feed them, which is probably once or twice a week that we can feed them. That is the biggest challenge that we are facing at the moment. And as well as also the facilities itself being here, that we need more people on board to create more teaching areas at the center here, because currently we teach our kids under the trees at the moment, which is not a huge problem, because the challenge is just that the distraction that we can get while we are doing our activities can be a problem.
Okay. Last but not least, earlier you mentioned about you are trying to keep the kids off the streets from being tempted to get into gangs. Rund is one of the towns that is faced with a lot of young boys now, and they are getting involved with crime, where they are known as the Okapi boys, robbing people in Rundu. What do you think could be the problem, and how do you think best that issue can be addressed?
The issue cannot alone, as we look at it as being addressed by the police officers alone, it can't be addressed by them alone. The issue needs to be addressed from home, from parental disciplinary, that they need to discipline their children from home, and if they can't do that, they fail, and this is where children end up joining the gang groups of Okapi and so on. even if you ask some of the students that come here, the center here, and ask about drug issues, then they would be able to say that, no, we know houses that are dealing with this. But then they are also afraid. They fear for their own lives that, no, if we talk, we'll get in trouble from these people. So the best issue or the best plan at the moment that can be dealt with is by having parental workshops. And these parental workshops should not only be given by stakeholders or partner stakeholders such as Ministry of Gender or Lifeline, but the Namibian police force needs to be involved in coming to talk about these issues with the parents as well. It shouldn't be an issue to be addressed once in a while. Crime does not take place once in a while. It doesn't take place once in a year. It takes place throughout the year. So constant and consistent reminder of workshops to parents should be one of the issues to be addressed, for them to be able to know that the law enforcement officers are behind it, and they keep reminding them about the problems that the region is facing, because it's a huge problem. And these are some of the pushing factors are poverty in the region that push some of these kids to end up doing what they're doing, because there's nothing, no food at home, or there is no feeding programs at some of the schools as well.
Okay. No, Mr. Kamerika, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Newsprint Namibia is a web offset printing operation that specializes in the printing of newspapers and commercial inserts. We are the leaders in our industry, with the highest quality print work and the shortest turnaround time from computer to print and delivery anywhere in the country daily. Newsprint was established mainly as a newspaper print company, but had to diversify its business to do commercial printing as required in the market. We print commercial inserts previously printed in South Africa in the shortest possible time. We, as an organization, also started printing workbooks for our education system and will also print textbooks for the Namibian market. For more information, please contact print@newsprint.com.
Take a load off and tune into another episode of Brave Namibia, when we take a look at both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians sharing their stories. Brave Namibia is broadcasted on NTV Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and oneup2.com, and broadcasted on the following Facebook platforms on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Republican, Allgemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, and all Namibia Media Holdings pages. For more information, contact the Brave team at brave@synergy.com.na. Brave Namibia, for the ordinary and extraordinary Namibians.
Next, we head to Ongwediva, where Tuyemu Haidula chats to Victoria Joel, who is the founder of the Circle of Hope Private Academy. This school focuses on autistic children. Thanks to her hard work, Joel has been selected to participate at the Revitalized Retreat taking place in Jamaica in July.
Victoria Joel, well known as Vicky, and I am the founder of Circle of Hope Private Academy, a trained special need teacher. Oh my gosh, I've been selected, nominated as one of the teachers to attend a vacation in Jamaica, 5-day trip. Basically, it was initiated to just acknowledge teachers that are doing remarkable work in the education fraternity, and for teachers just to get in a relaxed mode, because I think it's one aspect that is neglected, that teachers are just teachers. But it's a very straining job as well, because you need to be emotionally connected to these kids. Day and night, when you go home, you still think about what can I do to help this certain learner and so on. So getting a break for a vacation, it's a dream come true, especially in the Caribbean of Jamaica. Iceland. It's just amazing. I'm so excited. Circle of Hope Private Academy is an inclusive private school where we work with all children, specifically those in special needs of autism spectrum, Down syndrome and other intellectual disorders. We also have ECD learners in the mainstream regular classes, and that's how we are saying that we're growing into becoming an inclusive school. Why focus mostly on children with special needs, especially those with autism spectrum? Here in the north, they were not being catered for. I'm so glad that amongst our effort, we also have now the government also stepping up. But before, it was really non-existent for parents to enroll their children with autism spectrum. And also the fact that they are known that they cannot be educated, which was not true because they were never given the platform to actually get the opportunity to be in a classroom, to learn in their different abilities, because they are differently able, and that we have to always have in mind when we're also providing lessons. The registration, we are registered as a private school with the Ministry of Education. That was a process of 4 years. It's a complex school, so they needed to also look into a lot of things in terms of safety, teachers that are qualified and trained in special needs, which was a challenge to get such teachers in Namibia, because we don't have a resource department that actually train teachers in specifically autism spectrum. But yes, we eventually manage, and I will not say we have direct support, funding support from the Ministry of Education, but the support we get into collaborating in their workshops, and also being to participate as a inclusive school within other public and private schools, meetings and so on. It helps getting guidance from our inspectors. It helps for one to also know what the Namibian child is required to be taught within the policies of the Ministry of Education. The challenges mostly were we were not able to access to international funding. We do have some international organizations that were willing to really come on board. It's an expensive field that we took, especially in terms of special needs. It's a lot of resources and so on. So we could not get funding because we are not registered. We were not registered by then. Other was to be recognized by the parents. They were unsure whether they can bring in their child, since we are not recognized by the authorization body, which is the Ministry of Education. So growth was also very slow. We couldn't grow to a certain level of intake because parents are unsure whether the school will be closed down the next day, or we will not be able to grow from face to face because we are not yet registered with the ministry. I would like to say that your child is special, is unique, just like any other child, and they are differently able. There is great talents hidden within that child, and if they get exposure in the right environment where teachers understand them, that child can be a brilliant somebody. Can be one of your, because they're quite talented in math, science, music, and very creative as well, knowledge that goes beyond our understanding. So I would say get your child out there. There is a public school that also takes in for those that can't afford private schools. And for those that can afford, KOHA is more than welcome to enroll your child. Bring the child to the school and let them get the best of the best. Okay, our classes, for our learners, they are quite very much visual. So on the wall, we have a lot of colorful artwork and art pieces to be able to just help catch the child's eye. And some of them are quite autistic children are very specific. So as you can see here, we had to literally draw the hand itself, because when we were teaching them, we were actually showing the hand so that they can relate, because they don't do imagination. So one has to literally again bring up the same picture that you were showing them when you were doing the lesson. And with this, when you are counting number 1, number 2. So a bit of sign language here and there that we also create that helps them to active mind and participation in class. So yeah, basically this, sometimes we have to create most of these teaching aids because they are not available in shops, and we also need to readapt it according to the kids, how they respond. So as teachers, we need to be very creative, very much creative and very innovative for children to actually, and to create a fun environment while they are also learning.
23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 23, 25, 22.
Why are you guys quiet? I want to see
24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Wow! Okay.
29.
Very good. Well done.
Take a load off and tune into another episode of Brave Namibia as we take a look at both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. Brave Namibia is broadcasted on NTV Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and oneup2.com, as well as broadcasted on the following Facebook platforms on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Republicane, Algemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, and all Namibia Media Holdings pages. For more information, contact the Brave team at brave@synergy.com.na. Brave Namibia, for the ordinary and extraordinary Namibians.
Thanks for tuning in today. If you know of someone you feel should feature on our show, please contact us at brave@synergy.com.na.